Welcome to the RS Expert Advice Podcast. In each episode, we interview a trusted expert in the electronics industry to provide purchasers, engineers, installers, and maintainers with valuable insights into the product and technology solutions that can help them overcome common challenges and add real value to their workflows. We hope you enjoy this episode and that you learn something useful and new. Today I'm speaking with industrial robotics and automation experts from TE Connectivity, a leading global engineering partner for today's innovation leaders and technology entrepreneurs, and one of the world's largest providers of advanced connectivity and sensor solutions. Ricardo Hernandez, industrial sales manager for the Americas, and Michael Steuer, global account manager, have joined us to talk about industrial robotics, which encompasses a broad range of applications. Today, we'll be focusing on the robots used in factory automation and warehouse automation applications, which, while certainly related technologies, have very different capabilities and uses, similar to how sports cars and pickups are both passenger vehicles, but are used for different reasons. Welcome, Ricardo and Michael. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Michael, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role at TE and how you ended up working in industrial robotics.
So hi, my name is Michael Steuer and I'm with TE for almost 27 years. I'm living in Frankfurt, Germany, and I'm married, have two children, 21 and 23 years old. Business-wise, I worked in different roles, like in sales, technology, and business development. And I was always impressed how automation can help to make the difference. And as the global account manager of one of our key accounts, I'm involved in the progress of robot technologies, more or less day by day. And with this background, it was more or less given that robotics became also a hobby with an extensive focus from my side.
Ricardo, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role at TE and how you ended up working in industrial robotics.
Sure, thank you. So first of all, again, my name is Ricardo Hernandez. I am a mechatronics engineer. So ever since I, decided to take on that professional decision of what to study, I've been involved with robotics, right? So, and after graduating, I started working as a robotic system integrator. And then after that, I started moving along different industries that had to do more with motion control, but also in focused around the mechatronic systems used primarily in industrial automation applications. At TE, I am responsible for a market segment that we call warehouse automation, and that includes the technical support to our customers and our internal teams to find the right solutions for our customers when it comes to connectivity and sensors, specifically into warehouse automation applications.
So industrial robotics and automation are hot topics in the manufacturing industry, and they both tie into Industry 4.0 megatrend. So there's a lot of content that comes up when people are looking for information about these topics. Can you help us cut through the clutter and tell us why industrial robotics and automation are vital to the continued evolution of the manufacturing industry?
So on the long run perspective for robotics, the business remains excellent. There are still many 4D, meets dull, dirty, dangerous, and or delicate tasks that could be done by robots, improving workers' health, safety, and job satisfaction, right?
Yeah.
And we have the aging societies, and this will feel additional needs for the relief of employees from physical tasks. Modern robots, for instance, support a smaller carbon footprint, which is very important. Human robot collaborative applications will complement traditional robotics. So how humans and cobots work together. The plug-and-play system integration makes the development easier. And the ease of programming through demonstration makes the redeployment much easier for even smaller companies.
How has Industry 4.0 impacted the warehouse automation industry in recent years?
Wow, that's a really good question, right? And I think it's been a major item into making sure that there continues to be progress and improvements within the solutions around the warehouse. Reason for that, as you know, part of the big Industry 4.0 impact is connectivity around different devices, around different systems. And so I think that it's played a huge role, primarily in interconnecting devices and other systems to each other that are not necessarily designed by the same OEM, and having that ease of communication between different systems and making sure that they have the right data and the right information to work together in a consorted, effort. So I think it's been a huge advancement in that direction, allowing, applications like AGVs or AMRs, even some of these autonomous forklifts that are around some of these warehouses, connected back to other systems that might have been traditionally just driven by other means of automation. So with that being said, that also enables the capability of doing cloud information sharing and also implementing some of the AI technology that is continuously improving the way operations and logistics are done at these warehouses.
When we were preparing to chat, you mentioned that collaborative robots or cobots are one of the most rapidly growing segments in the robotics industry. What unique benefits do they provide compared to other, perhaps more familiar robotics solutions? And what types of manufacturers should consider adding them to their workflows?
Good one. While cobots are relatively new, with the first commercial cobot only hitting the market in 2008, their sales saw a significant uptick when the global pandemic struck. Beginning in late 2019 and early 2020, demand for cobots began to soar. I believe that demand was spurred by a number of factors, not the least of which was the need to keep production lines running when the availability of workers was drastically reduced.
Right.
According to the International Federation of Robotics, the IFR, 39,000 cobots were installed in 2021, 3.5 times as many as were developed in 2017. As for future growth, ABI research predicts that by 2026, worldwide cobot shipments are expected to pass 47,000 annually. So as sophisticated sensors have helped to make cobots safer when interacting with humans, companies have become more trusting of them. And this has expanded the types of applications for which cobots can be utilized. I expect to see double-digit growth for cobots through the next decade. The benefit of cobots over industrial robots are simply that cobots offer a quicker setup, are much more flexible, and do not require the traditional physical parameters that are required with industrial robots. They also come at a much lower price point than industrial robots, making them more affordable to purchase and operate, also for smaller companies. So while physical barriers around industrial cobots, such as fencing, are necessary to prevent injury to humans, cobots do not require these types of barricades. This means that cobots can operate in a variety of workspaces where automation was previously not possible. Cobots can be safely placed in the same workplace or in workspace with humans interacting with working alongside them. Cobots also offer ease of use. So in contrast to a stationary industrial robot, they can be easily moved around or relocate to accommodate the needs of the production line or factory floor. Cobots are relatively simple to deploy and offer a faster setup. Programming is very simplistic. Cobots don't require significant coding or automation experience. Another key advantage to the cobot is increased productivity. Cobots can be placed in complex, dangerous, and unpleasant work environments where humans are unable to do or do not want to perform tasks, such as interacting with chemicals or working in extreme conditions of heat or cold. And last but not least, what's more, cobots can increase the return of investment and productivity while reducing labor costs.
Oh, that is There's a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
So the advantages that AGVs, AMRs, ASRXs, and cobots provide sound hugely beneficial. But these technologies also sound expensive, and as we all know, many manufacturers can't modernize their facility all at once, as much as they may like to given today's highly competitive landscape. So how can operators convince owners to invest in these advanced technologies, and where should manufacturers start if they can't dive in all at once?
That's a very good question, right? And that's a very typical one that is brought up in many cases. This is a true life, how can I say this, challenge, right? And so I think that part of the solutions that are out there, one of them that comes to mind is robots as a service, right? Where you don't necessarily have to purchase a robot, but you're actually subscribing to a monthly service that allows you to tap into different cloud-based services. And by using that type of service, you get access to the robot technology that's behind the operation. This is one example of how you can do that a little bit easier. The other approach is, and when we talk to experts about this, is always try to take it one step at a time. Start small, start with a specific area that you have control over, that you believe you can make an impact. That way, it's just like any other project, right? As you start going through the process, you start having that learning curve about how to do, how to implement, and what makes sense for your operation. So I think these two recommendations would be, first of all, look at the robots as a service option, right, as part of a subscription. And then the second thing, if you're going to invest and you think you're ready, it's always recommended to start small and then expand beyond that, taking all the lessons learned and everything that you believe worked well for you on the project to start upgrading and then moving on to the next phases in your warehouse.
Excellent. Those are both sound advice. I think another common concern about industrial robotics is the job that they may displace. What is your perspective on that?
Well, the notion of cobots replacing employees is not really the case, right? So employees who used to work and perform a certain task are now programming and maintaining the cobot. And that will do the cobot will do the work for them. So their jobs have become more enriching as well as safer and more enjoyable.
Makes sense. I imagine that many machine manufacturers are ramping up production of cobots and other industrial robotics, given the recent and seemingly enduring interest in leveraging these solutions to achieve safety, productivity, and profitability goals. What essential components do these manufacturers need to deliver safe, competitive, and capable robotic solutions?
Yes, and I think this is a very good question, right? Especially if we're talking about some applications like collaborative robots or autonomous mobile robots that operate alongside humans, right? So that piece of not only making it safe, but also productive and profitable are very important. And to that note, I think it's essential to, first of all, have the reliable connectivity solutions that are allowing you to not only connect physically between different subsystems within the devices themselves, but also wirelessly as far as data information sharing between the different systems and the different devices on the floor, right? So from that point of view, some of the products that we recommend to actually address these areas of safety, productivity, and profitability are to, first of all, look at anything related to safety, which in this case, as you know, we have different types of sensors that are allowing to make these applications safer. We also have different type of more electromechanical solutions like relays and contactors that are allowing the safe operation of these devices when they're ready to be deployed and applied safely around everyone that's in touch with them. The productivity side, obviously, you want to have a reliable connection every time you're going through these, especially when we look at these applications. They're what we consider harsh environment applications. The reason for that, we have a lot of movement, right? So robots are moving. different environments, and so we're always moving. There's a lot of shock and vibration in these applications. So we want to make sure that whatever type of connectivity solution we're including in these devices, that they're designed for that type of purpose, right? Make sure that we have a good signal integrity. Not only that, but also from a power and signal side, we want to make sure that those connectors deliver, again, safely all the data and the power that is required to do these applications in a safe manner.
Since both warehouse automation solutions and cobots operate in industrial environments, I'm guessing that there's some overlap in terms of the physical and electrical characteristics that manufacturers should preference when selecting the components for design in.
Yes, that is correct, right? And I think that when we look at it, a part of what it's being, that we see on the development and the evolution of automation, you can clearly see there's been an overlap of the traditional industrial robotics and industrial automation fields being leveraged and utilized in warehouse automation more than ever, right? I think that as we start looking at that, anything you look into, for instance, motion control applications that were typically, again, used in industrial factory settings or factory automation settings, or even industrial robotics, right? We are getting all of those components and all that knowledge brought over to warehouse automation solutions like mobile robots or ASRS systems, where again, we're using all that technology, we're leveraging from that, but adapting it to our purposeful use within the warehouse. So it's a good overlap. And it helps a lot, not only us as a supplier, but also to our customers, that we can utilize the existing technology, adapt it to our specific needs, and then improve upon what we've learned in the past with these technologies.
So I know that all of these, connectivity and electromechanical components are vital elements of today's advanced industrial robotics systems, but I'd love to have you dive a little deeper into just a few and introduce us to the key characteristics that manufacturers should prioritize, the benefits that they provide, and the functions they enable. It seems like sensors and connectors are both hugely important.
Well, let me take this. For a cobot, precision and safety is key. NTE can offer a broad portfolio of sensors, helping to achieve the highest rate of precision. For instance, our resolvers offer precision between 4 and plus minus 4 and plus minus 20 arc minutes, and provide this information over 360 degrees. Our torque sensor mechanically interfaces with the motor and the gear system inside each joint of a cobot. The direct measurement of torque at each joint provides higher confidence in the measurement with less required calculations, and eases the burden on the OEM to demonstrate compliance with the stringent safety standards for cobots. Additionally, direct torque measurement improves the functionality of manual arm positioning or teaching by providing better inertia control and reducing unwanted movement. On small cobots, weight is a key factor on the given to speed and precision. And with a single plane Ethernet technology, weight can be reduced significantly on the cable side, and with our dynamic D1000 Slim series, we launch a small size lightweight connector series based on the established dynamic design, tailored for cobots and small size robots. So the connectors fit through the narrow joint, which makes the assembly of the cobot and the small robot easier. The end-of-arm technology develops fast to enable cobots and robots to do the tasks they're used for. And our M8 and 12 connectors offer the perfect interface for the hand of the cobot and the robot, enabling a safe and secure connection and a fast changeover if required.
Are there any success stories that come to mind when you think about your collaborations with warehouse automation and cobot manufacturing customers?
Absolutely. Our torque sensors help two of the market leaders to have their cobot certified according to high safety standard within the ISO 1385.
We can also give you a few examples of what is done in warehouse automation. Similar to that, a few of the market leaders in the AMR AGV space have trusted TE to develop new self-docking battery charging connectors for our specific application, understanding that the needs and the requirements for a docking connector solution are very unique to the application. And with these requirements in mind and the experience that TE has, we've been able to develop a new series of docking connectors specifically designed for AMR and AGV battery charging connectivity.
Is there anything else you'd like our listeners to know about TE Connectivity or your portfolio of component solutions engineered for industrial robotics, warehouse automation, or cobot applications?
I would just like to say that when you talk about TE, when it comes to robotics and just warehouse automation in general, we're bringing to the table more than 40 years of experience in these fields. Not only that, but we also bring the broadest portfolio from any supplier in the market that can allow you to design your systems all around on a one-stop shop type of approach, meaning that you have multiple types of items that will be part of your system that you can work with TE to help you with your design. And not only that, we have a global team that's very capable and very knowledgeable on all of these applications. And when we say global, we truly have a global team that's dedicated for local resources for local customers. That way there's no time zone difference. We want to make sure that our teams are dedicated to our customers locally and that they also have the technical capability to support their customers when there's a recommendation needed. So from that point of view, we like to think of ourselves as an extension of your engineering team that is working alongside with you to help you choose the right solutions for your applications.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, y'all. And thank you to our listeners for joining us for this episode of the RS Expert Advice Podcast. For more information about TE Connectivity, please visit www.te.com. For a complete collection of expert advice content, including more episodes of the RS Expert Advice Podcast, please visit us.rs-online/expert.